Hey guys, so in this video, I'm gonna talk to you about some basic networking, which is used which I'm gonna use as a basic foothold for further videos, which is gonna be about SOC analyst path of the whole TryHackMe. So the aim for this room is to avoid the biggest introduction to basic principles of networking. Networking is a massive topic, so this is really just a brief overview. However, it will hopefully give you some foundational knowledge of the topic, which you can build upon yourself. So OSI model, very easy. Everybody knows this. I'm just gonna go through all the layers. Seventh layer, layer 7 application. The application layer of the OSI model essentially provides networking options to program running on the computer. It's basically all the apps you are running. Like this, I'm using Arc as a browser. I'm using Warp. These are all this all come under the application layer. Layer 6, presentation layer. Presentation layer receives the data from the application layer. This data tends to be in the format of application that application understands, but it's not necessarily in a standardized format that could be easily understood by the application layer in the receiving computer. The presentation layer translates the data into a standard format as well as handling any encryption, compression, or any other forms. So basically, it all the main purpose of this layer is to take all of the data from the application layer and encrypt it or compress it so that other layers can use it for their further analysis. Layer 5 session. When the session layer receives the correctly formatted data from the presentation layer, it looks to see if it can be set up as a communication with the other computer across the network. Session layer is very simple. It's basically communicating with the other session, with the other sessions, or if you have established a session with someone, if it can't, then it sends back an error, then the process goes no further. If a session can be established, that then it's the job of the session layer to maintain it as well as cooperate it with the session layer. Fairly straightforward. Transport. The transport layer is very interesting layer that serves numerous important functions. Its first purpose is to choose the protocol for which the data is being transmitted. The two most common protocol that is used in the transport layer are TCP and UDP. TCP is the connection based protocol in which you actually have to make the connection with someone for further communication. But in UDP, you don't have to make the connection. You just need to know the destination address, and all the packets are going to be sent at a very fast pace through this protocol. Layer 3 network. The network layer is responsible for locating the destination of your request. For example, the internet is a huge network. When you want to request information from a web page, it's the network layer that takes the IP address from the page, figures out the best route to take. At this stage, we are working with what is referred to as logical addressing. So, very straightforward, they just said that it is responsible for locating the destination of your request, like you're going to google.com, you're going to facebook.com. Data link layer works with all of the MAC addresses and all the network interface card, which is inside your computer as a hardware. Layer 1 physical layer is right down the hardware of the computer, like all the Ethernet cables or everything which can be interacted by humans. The very straightforward question: which layer would choose TCP over TCP or UDP? Fourth layer. So you can just go through all of these. These are actually very simple. Encapsulation. As the data is passed down each layer, more information contains details specific to the layer in questions adding to the start of the transmission. So as we can see, the data link layer also adds up as a piece at the end of the transmission, which is used to verify the data has not been corrupted or transmission. This is also added bonus of increased security as the data can be intercepted and tampered with without breaking the trail. So as you can see, the first data with layer 7 header. Let's see. Okay. Application layer header is added. It is then used by the presentation layer for and form the encryption. Then session layer is added to maintain the session of between the two servers. Transport layer handles all the transportation and port numbers. Network layer, as in it routes the best. It basically tells us the best route to go to the destination IP. Data link layer works with all the MAC addresses in your network interface card, and encapsulated data is sent across the network with the help of SWAIT 7 physical layer. So, it's technically very easy. How would you refer to the data at the layer 2 of the encapsulation in the OSI module? It's called frames. How would you refer to the data at layer 4 of the encapsulation protocol? It's called datagrams at session layer 4. Layer 4 is basically transport layer. What process would a computer perform on a received message? So this is encapsulation is done when you're sending the data. When you're receiving the data, that is called de-encapsulation, and it's just very simple. It's just this process only, but in reverse. What is the only layer of the OSI model to add a trailer during encapsulation? Data link. Okay. Does encapsulation provide an extra layer of security? Yes, obviously it does. TCP IP model. I talked about TCP. It actually needs to form a connection with someone. Let's say you are a client and the server, and you want to go to google.com. So you are going to send a SYN packet to the google.com server. The google.com will respond with SYN ACK. ACK stands for acknowledgement. It will acknowledge your packet. Then you will also going to send an ACK packet for this SYN ACK packet that yes, I have got your message and I have acknowledged your message. And this way, a three-way handshake is formed with which you can do the further communication. Networking tools. So these are very important tools, and let me just go through everyone. Ping command is used when we want to test whether a connection of a remote sources is possible. Usually, will be a website on the internet, but it could also be a computer on your home network. So let's find out the IP address of D. You can find out the IP address of different web servers, like it's showing ping google.com. This is the IP address of google.com. It's all ping command is also used in by system administrators as a tool for network administration or network troubleshooting. Let's see. Which command would you use to ping the bbc.co.uk? It's just very easy. Ping.bbc.uk. Ping, what is the IPv4 address? So this is the IP address of this Moorland, or I don't know what that means. Let me just quickly answer the questions. It lets you change the interval of send. With I, you can actually control the intervals of how many ping requests are you are sending to the web server. Ping uses the protocol of ICMP. So whenever you can see it on Wireshark, or again guessing you can also see it on TCP dump. Yeah, I have TCP dump. Just quickly provide the password. So whenever I will send ping, I'm sorry, whenever, yeah. So as you can see, all of these packets are going towards the web server. And let me see if there are any ICMP packets. Okay, let me just quickly ping the local host only. See, these are all the ICMP packets this ping command is sending to our local host only. So, which would allow you to restrict requests on IPv4 -4 verbose output -v. Traceroute. The logical follow-up of the ping command is traceroute. Traceroute can be used to map the path of your request as it sends to the target machine. So as you know, whenever you send a request, it goes through many routers. So with the help of traceroute, you can actually see how many hops your packet is going to make between the routers to actually reach the google.com. Let's see. It's first going from this IP to this, to this, to this. You can see all of the hops it's trying to make to actually go to the google.com. See, who is command? You can perform lookups or reverse lookups for the domain reverse lookups to see what is the IP and tell you the information about the whole, basically about that domain. So let me do it. Who is google.com? See, it's gonna tell us all the information about google.com: referrer, domain, organization, address, contacts, everything. Very straightforward. Dig command. Dig command can also be used for, uh, let's see. Okay, okay, okay. There must be a straightforward definition for it. Okay, so when you visit a website in a web browser, this all happens automatically, but we can also do it manually with a command tool called dig. Like ping and tracer, dig should be installed automatically on the Linux system. Dig allows us to manually query recursive DNS servers of our choice and information about the domains. Okay, so let's do dig command. So as you can see, you can check out the IP addresses. There's a lot of information. We are currently most interested in the answer section of this room. We're taking time to learn what is the resume means is a very good idea. In summary, the information is telling us that we sent it to one query and successfully received one full answer. So DNS short for domain name system. What is the first ever DNS server in recursive? What is the type of DNS server content record specific to domain extension? Use a long extension, the long version of the name. Top level domain like .com is the top level domain. .in is a top level domain. Where is the very first place of your computer? Would you look to find the IP address of the domain? Local cache, obviously. Google runs two public DNS servers. One of them will be queried with the IP 8.8.8.8. What is the IP address of the other one? This is the research question. So you can just quickly see. Yeah, 8.8.8.4 and 8.8. If a DNS query has a TTL, TTL is the time to live because every packet is assigned a TTL of 24 hours. Yeah, of not 24 hours, it can be anything, but TTL is important because if the packet by chance doesn't reach its destination, it needs to drop. So TTL stands for time to live. That if the IP, if that packet is not sent in in this much time, like in this 24 hours, it would automatically drop. Further reading, that's a complaint. So networking is one of those things that you just need to learn. Yeah, that is completely true. And if you want to go into cybersecurity, networking is like one of these things that you need to learn. In this whole, this is the like basics covered and basic tools which are actually you are actually going to be using in your penetration test or in your blue teaming SOC analyst work. Okay. There is a more data version available. Cisco self study guide. So yeah, if you want to go for a certificate in networking, CCNA exam is the way to go. You can also do it with Network Plus, but CCNA study material I've seen and it's actually pretty good. It's actually better than Network Plus. So yeah, I would advise you should go for Network Plus. Sorry, CCNA.